Okay, welcome back, everyone. I'm looking at Gemara Makot, Amad Yud, Amad Bet. That is 10b, and in the art scroll it's 10b, page 1. The Gemara is discussing somebody who commits manslaughter, and the Torah mandates that the person should be sent to an Irei Miklat, a city of refuge, for him to pay his dues, as it were, and learn how to behave in a more responsible way. Now, one of the episodes the Gemara discusses is the following case, where there are no witnesses to testify against somebody, and therefore the person, let's say, who committed a murder or manslaughter, supposedly cannot be put on trial and therefore cannot be punished. Let me go through that now, and we'll piece it together. Okay, one killed inadvertently and one killed intentionally. So we've got two people here, one who commits manslaughter and the other who is a straightforward murderer. This one has no witnesses to testify against him. So let's say the first case, somebody who committed manslaughter, there was nobody to testify that he committed manslaughter. But it's in Edim. And in the other case as well, where somebody committed an outright straightforward murder, he also has, or there are also no witnesses to testify against him either. Now, since neither event was witnessed, the unintentional killer was not able to be sent to the Irei Miklat, the city of refuge. Obviously, such a punishment would be mandated only through the Beth Din and through the court system. And also, the intentional killer could not be put on trial and could not be executed. However, so on the face of it, it seems that these two guilty parties are seeming to go free and not. It seems that justice has not been carried out. However, the Gemara continues, God, Hashem arranges matters so that both receive their due punishment. How so? HaKadosh Baruch Hu mazminan lepundak le'echad. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, summons these two people to the same inn, where this one, the one who killed intentionally, the original murderer, happens to sit underneath a ladder. He's probably sitting in a hotel or in some sort of dwelling where he's under a ladder, while the other person who previously killed unintentionally or inadvertently, he committed manslaughter, he is on the ladder and he's coming down the ladder. And the one who killed inadvertently, so this chap coming down the ladder, slips and falls onto the person under the ladder, the original murderer, and he falls onto him and he kills him in the presence of witnesses. This is a public area, many people witness it. As a result, the one who had killed intentionally, he himself is now killed because the other person has fallen onto him from a height by slipping off this ladder. While this one who was coming down the ladder, who committed manslaughter originally, we now have witnesses that he was being irresponsible as he came down the ladder. He wasn't careful. He slipped and he fell and he killed the person sitting under the ladder. So in this case, now he's committed manslaughter in a public forum where there are witnesses. Since he has now killed inadvertently in the presence of witnesses, he can now be sent to Irei Miklat. From this episode, which is a very brief part of the Gemara, which I've just sort of taken out just to illustrate this point. How often one sees, you hear of crimes or various things happen in the world where it seems the perpetrators of a crime go unpunished. They were never found. Let's say somebody, God forbid, was robbed or was burgled, and it seems that the people that committed that crime were never found, and it seems that they go unpunished. This Gemara really puts things in perspective and shows that even though a human court down here in this world may not be able to put the guilty parties on trial and punish them, ultimately Hashem has his ways and means of arranging circumstances such that they get their just deserts. And it's very moving to sort of see this Gemara where it puts things in perspective in the modern world. We see things from a very skewed viewpoint and think, oh wow, this person went unpunished and there's no justice in the world. But really this puts everything in perspective, and therefore one should always realize that Hashem is watching everything, and ultimately He makes the cheshbonot, and He knows who's guilty and who's not guilty, and ultimately the person who's done something wrong, who certainly was not done teshuvah, he will come to have to answer for his sins.